Do you want to learn the art of shooting food and become a professional food photographer? Then you've come to the right place. I'm Kush Sharma. I'm a professional photography and video making instructor, and in this food photography for beginners course, I will be teaching you the complete art of food photography from scratch. You will be able to follow everything even if you have no prior experience. In this course, we will be following what we call as a level-based approach, which means we will be starting off by learning a level 1 shot, which will be a very basic shot, and from there we'll keep on progressing to higher levels by increasing the level of difficulty. And what we'll find is that each time we do that, your learning improves and so does the shot. This makes sure that the approach that we take is very linear and everything just becomes very practical when we are moving up these levels. Now, throughout this learning experience, what we will be focusing on will be 6 important elements that actually form the art of food photography. And these 6 elements are, first of all, the photography gear and the settings that we will be using for our food shots. And here I will be really diving into a lot of detail because I'll be telling you which lens to use. When we are taking our shot, I'll even be making you walk through the aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and the other settings that we will be using while we're clicking the shot. We'll also be talking about things like the tripod and other accessories that you will need for food photography. And of course, the next 2 important elements are the surface that we will be using, the background that we will be using for our food shot, and also the props, the styling related to these props, and any sort of action that we perform using these props will also be taken into account. And here, my main focus will be to not just make you buy the expensive things out there, because in this course, I want to teach you everything in a budget-friendly manner. So all the backdrops and the props that I will be recommending to you will be easy on your pocket. And more importantly, they will be portable and very, very convenient to use so that you can move around and do food photography even at your client's location very, very easily. Here we will be going into so much detail that we will be paying attention to small but important things like what material should your props be made out of so that they don't give off bad looking reflections, which can be very tough to correct in post-processing. We'll even be talking about things like how to choose the color of the props in such a way that when these props are placed together, they actually look pleasing to the eye. Then comes the next element, and I would probably say this is the element that we focus the most on in this course, which is the lighting that we will be using. Because here's the truth, you can do everything else correct. That means you can have your gear and your settings correct, you can have your props and your backdrops and all the other things in place, but if your lighting is boring, you will get a boring shot. Okay, so therefore we will be spending a lot of time on how to manipulate lighting in such a way that it really results in some dramatic looking food shots. We will especially be paying a lot of attention towards the technique of creating some dark and moody looking shots, because those are the ones that really catch the eye and they really stand out. And finally, the last element that we will be focusing on will be editing and post-processing your food shots. Here, to start off things, I will be initially showing you a free and simple to use app which you can just use for basic exposure and color correction. But ultimately, the real fun in this course will lie in using Photoshop, because we will be using Photoshop to do some really advanced, manipulative and technical editing, which will absolutely blow your mind away, because we will even be seeing how to introduce things which were not there in our food shot in the first place. And the biggest takeaway here will be that you'll finally understand that even if you don't really get your food shot absolutely correct in the camera in the first place, you will realize that a lot of things can be corrected while editing. And this, for me, is the main benefit of editing your food shots, because this is bound to make you a very relaxed photographer when you're actually taking your food shots. So this really is a one-stop food photography course which will benefit not just people who are absolute beginners, but also people who have been doing food photography, because some of the things that you will be learning here, I can assure you, will be something that you've not seen anywhere before. So if you like the sound of all that, don't wait any longer, sign up right now and we'll get started straight away.